So then we finished the downstairs cloakroom. About how far we're going to go with it for now. I've connected the waste underneath. That's the only way we could do it with these IKEA waste fittings, but that's done, sorted. So, luckily, we're pushing on a little bit now. The tiling's going down in the kitchen area. So the kitchen and whatnot will be going in soon. But yeah, we're pushing on, but it means that I can now begin the bit I've been quite looking forward to for a while. And it is the Megaflow, the 300 litre pressurised Megaflow system going in where all the pipe work is going to be connected into. So what we've got here is, this is going here. This is going to supply our pressurised hot water to the whole system, but we've got to connect it in. So this is our incoming main cold water. That is going to go up through combination block, pressure reducing valve, and into here. That's going to feed the cylinder with the cold water, which will be heated up with the central heating pipe work. Off the top will come the hot, down and onto there. We'll have balanced cold coming out of the pressure reducing valve onto the cold there. So we've got incoming main, balanced cold, hot, then we're onto the heating side of it. So we've got our primary flow from the boiler, that is going into here, straight into the top. It will then come down. Out of here we'll put another two port zone valve on there to feed the underfloor heating, which is that flow there. The returns for them are teed in underneath. Then we've got the central heating 2-port zone valve, so that will go to the heating flow. Again, the heating return is teed into the main primary return. Then we've got the return coming out the cylinder from the coil. So that's the hot water 2-port zone valve. In, do the coil inside the Megaflow, heat the hot water in there, out the return there, and into our primary return that's going back to the boiler. Straightforward, isn't it? So what I'm going to do now for the next half hour or so is work out exactly where I'm going to put all the pipe work and sort of get my head around it a little bit. It's not too bad. So that's got its own pressure vessel inside it, which will pressurise the hot water up so it's mains pressure. Expansion wise for the heating, we've got an expansion vessel in the boiler downstairs which should cope with the system. I'll double check it, but I think we're all right with that one. So yeah, fairly straightforward, sounds easy. And it is relatively, it's just working out exactly where you've got to put everything. So what we're going to do first off is look where we're going to route all the pipe work and begin getting it in. I'm going to start with the cold main because I want to bring the cold main up and probably go round the back because I want to be able to fix it to the wall. If we come round the front, there's no fixing points around the front. So if I take the cold main around the back and bring it out there, we've also got to take a cold feed over to one of the existing showers that was connected to the cold tank in the roof, which is now redundant, and to be completely honest, I totally missed it. Luckily, Scott the builder popped up into the roof and spotted it, and I went, good job you noticed that. So we've got to hook that over to pick up onto our balance cold that's going to be around there. Hopefully I haven't missed anything else. I don't think I have. We've had it all pressurised up, as you'd have seen on the previous video, but yeah, we're all good to go. Right, let's get my head around this for a little bit and see where we're at. With the Megaflow out of position, we've got the pipe work, the two colds that are going to run behind, the cold main and the balance cold. We've brought them round the back so I can now, if I don't trip up on my fittings, now get that cylinder back in. We're doing it in press fit because I've been quite looking forward to getting this one done because it'll be the first time I've done a load of press fit on a job, and because the builder's paying for all the materials, I thought why not, we'll get it done in press fit. So got that in, we've got this in here, we've got the cold coming off the top, as I said, to pick a shower up that's got to go over there, but now we can get the cylinder back into position and then begin working from that, because obviously we had to get them around the back first of all. That's why I've done two pull bends, because I didn't want two fittings around the back if there was an issue with it when we come to fill it up, which, to be fair, hopefully, touch wood, I don't think there will be. But let's clear this out of the way and we'll get the cylinder back in and see exactly how we're going to come off it with the primaries, the heat and flow, and the underfloor heat and flow. So that's the Megaflow back in position. I've spun it around a couple of times to try and get it exactly where I want it. I did think first of all to get this further round so it's completely square on the pipework there, but it just brought this too far round here. So I've sort of settled for a happy medium because obviously we've got our D2 discharge coming out of here, straight into our copper pipe there, go into drain, and then our cold main's coming in here. We're gonna have to put our like combination block there, off there for our balance cold, and then that's the cold at the top. And then just off there, so we've got enough room then to work around it if we've got to pull pipes over other pipes and bits and bobs like that. So I've settled for it there. Obviously the hot's the easiest one, so we might start with that, just come straight off the top into our hot there, and then that's the top bit there done, and we can work from there. But yeah, we're getting there. I can't enjoy stuff like this, you know, where you can just sit there and crack on with it. Right, have a tidy up. So as I said, we've got an underfloor heating loop here, but on the pre-made Megaflow cylinder, it only comes with your 2-port zone valve for your heating, but they do give you the stab off for a secondary loop, which in this case we're going to use as the underfloor heating. So I've got another zone valve that will pop on there. I'll just put it there for the moment. I have cut the end of it off before anyone says, let me show you, because I know people will. See, cut the end of it off. So I'll put that zone valve on there for the minute. I will paste it up before we tighten it up, but that's where they'll sit. You'll have one there obviously for the heating, one for the underfloor heating. So that one will go off and feed the heating, that one will go off and feed the underfloor heating, so they can work them independently. Right, we're cracking on a little bit with this now. We've connected up the heating flow from the 2-port valve round onto where it drops down into the heating. I've come up there, so I'm going to put a thumb vent on the top there. So we're going to do the same with the underfloor heating. Come round, we just put little sets on there, come round, across, into here, down for the underfloor heating flow. And again, I'm just going to put a little thumb vent on the top of there as well. And then that will be them loops teed in. And then we've got the primary to bring over here, and also the primary return to go into the bottom of the coil there. So yeah, we're cracking on with it a little bit now. It's making a massive difference, to be fair, doing it in press. And I've also picked up, I don't know if I've said it before in one of my other videos, picked up one of these Milwaukee pipe cutters. I was a little bit dubious of them to begin with, but they're quite handy actually, really light, 12 volt, and they'll fit anything. I think it's 10 mil, no, they don't do 10 mil. I think it does 15, 22, 20, up to 28 this does, so it's perfect for this. But yeah, save loads of time using press on this, to be honest. I'm not going to do press on the 28mm for 2 reasons. One, I haven't got a set of 28mm jaws. When I bought my press kit, I just did 15 and 22mm pack. I left out the 28mm jaws because I don't really do that much 28. If I've got a big job coming up, I'm going to use a load of 28mm, I'll probably get a set, but for now, it's fine. So what I'm going to do is come off in 28mm end feed, solder it up. It's only got to go to here, onto the bottom of the cylinder anyway. We'll probably just press a bit of 22mm into there and then across in 28mm. So it's been about a week since I was out here on this house renovation. The weather's changed, it's absolutely freezing out there. Thankfully they've got the windows in, because last time I was here it was just open, blowing wind straight through. So we're going to carry on today on this cylinder. So we left it as it is last time. What I'm going to do today is concentrate on getting the hot and colds connected into here, balance cold off there. We've got to take a cold feed up into the roof, that's the hot, and then we can connect the primaries. I'm just waiting for the automatic bypass to come out for that, and some other little bits, automatic air vents on here, and then obviously the D3 discharge pipe connect down into there. So yeah, hopefully that will warm me up a little bit. So this is the cold main coming in. What we're going to do is come across the front here and then fit our combination valve and pressure reducing valve. It's going to sit roughly about there. I'm trying to get it directly in line with the pressure relief and the T&P relief valve from the cylinder. So we'll put that in about there, and then I can stab off with a T across to pick up the balance cold that's going to feed the rest of the house. But this will be there, shut off for the cylinder, straight into the cold main, and then obviously fills the cylinder up. On the top, we'll come off the top here and over to our hot feed there. Right, I've been cracking along now with this cylinder. We've got the cold main connected. So as I said, this is the main coming in. We've got our shut off valve here, pressure reducing valve here. Shoots off there, round to here for the balance cold. Comes up off the balance cold. As I've said, we've got to pick up a shower pipe, the cold feed for the shower, that feeds a bathroom right over there that was fed from the tanks above. Now, I'll completely hold my hands up here. I cut the tanks off in the roof and assumed, should never assume, but assumed it was fed from a different place. It wasn't, it shoots up into the roof. So what I'm gonna have to do is connect onto that feed that I've put up there and reconnect the shower. I'll show you where it is in fact, because I very nearly forgot it. So that shower over there, you can just make it out. We've got the hot feed to it because very early on in the build here, you might remember we had a load of stainless steel pipes that were in the existing house, and we've cut out a lot of that we just wanted to renew. So the hot was fed from that, and I thought the cold went the same way, but it didn't. Anyway, long story, we basically got to get onto that pipe that I've put in, put a lever valve on there. So that's the cold. We've got the heating pipes ready to go. I'm just waiting for some fittings to come out for the 28mm. So what we'll do now, we'll concentrate on getting discharge pipe. I'm just going to drop down here. I think I'm going to bring it down, clip it to the wall here, and then connect straight onto it there. So we'll get that in, and then hopefully the fittings, we've got a bypass coming for the primary flow and returns. They come off through the bypass, and then we can connect it into the cylinder and into the return there. And then, pretty much done I think, we can then look at hopefully getting some heat on soon. Moving on now to do the discharge pipe. We've come down here. Now what you've got to have is a minimum of 300mm from the bottom of the tundish to the first bend. This is 400mm, and I'm going to 45 it here and 45 it back to the wall, straight into our 22mm discharge pipe here. The reason being, if that sort of space was less than 300, what can happen then if one of them lets go, it can build up. Let's say you've got an elbow on there at 300, let's say 250. So you come down there in 250 with an elbow, and that lets go, the water pressure is going to back up and come out the tundish and soak all the floor. So always, like it's regs to be fair, it's got to be more than 300 from the bottom of the tundish. So we'll pop a 45 on there, pop a 45 on there, get that done, and then finally, hopefully, I'm still waiting for the bits to be delivered out, we can get onto that. So I've popped some clips on there. I've put the little talon spacers on the back just to bring that pipe away from the skirting, because I didn't want it going in at an angle. So that's coming up perfectly straight there. Got our two fittings on there. So let's pop the camera there, get these pressed, little marks on them to make sure they don't move. Like so. Right, let's get the press gun. I have really took to the press gun, to be honest. I know in a few early videos I weren't sure if I would, but it's just really clean, really easy, really quick. And it does, to be fair, offset the price of it. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying using the press. So let's make sure it's square, level and plumb, and get it pressed up. Done. That's the D2 discharge pipe all in. Let's move over to there. We're moving on to sorting the primaries out now. I think I might have mentioned it before, but when I bought my press gun, I didn't buy the 28mm jaws because I don't do that much 28mm stuff. Ironically, we've got 28mm on here. We've got 28mm primaries. So I am going to solder these just for the haters that hate press fit. We're going to solder the fittings for the 28mm. I'm going to do press fit 22mm coming out the cylinder, and then you're going to come across, that's the return, straight onto there, and obviously we've got a T in there for the bypass. We're going to work this all in 28mm and get it soldered up. So what I've just done is measured this across here, that's how we're going to run it, marked the 28mm there, so we'll get the cutters on there. So what we'll do, get some flux around there, put some in here. As always, I use the solder instead of a brush. It still blows people's minds now a little bit. We'll get the Laco flux has gone a little bit sloppy in the cold weather. We'll put the T in because we're going to put obviously a bypass onto the heating, so we'll get it all ready. Just stab straight up. and we can cut it and trim it to where we want. I'm going to solder this bit up out of place just because we're going to be going into this press fit elbow. So if I solder that up, get it in, press it, and then we can solder the T up. Right. Now I've never said I solder up for looks. I always like to put enough solder on there that I know it's not going to leak. So let's get this. With that already soldered in end, I'm going to solder this elbow, this T, that's up for the bypass, get all that done, pop the press fit elbow on the end of it, connect it into the cylinder, and then we can work on the flow. So that's the primary return done. All we've got to do now is pop our little press fit 22mm street elbow on, get it into the bottom of the cylinder, press that up, and then we can come off here and go to the bypass, which is going to go into the flow here. So that is the cylinder near enough done now. We've connected everything up, cold's connected, everything's done up there. Got the isolation valves on before the automatic air vents. I always do that. Some people do, some people don't, but I have had it before where you've got automatic air vents on jobs and they start playing up at the top and you can't, without draining the whole system down, or at least the top off the system, they can be an absolute pain to get sorted. So, as a matter of course, I always just put a little isolation valve before. It makes life a lot easier. Got a gauge on here. Funny enough, this doesn't come with a filling gauge up here. So you know, obviously we've got a filling loop down at the boiler and a gauge on the boiler. But if you're filling up the top half of the house and you want to fill it from here, it's so much easier to do it here, but there's no gauge on it. So I've put a gauge in here just to make life a little bit easier. Also going to put an automatic air vent on here with an isolation valve because there isn't one on. Again, I thought there might be being the Mega Flow. I thought they might have come up with a little automatic air vent or at least a thumb vent off the top there, but they haven't. Got the automatic bypass in, so yeah, it's all basically done here now. I'm gonna have a little bit of a tidy up, get all this cleared up, and yeah, we're making some headway. So make sure you tune in for the next bit. Hopefully the next video from here is gonna be some heating going on, touch wood. Skirting board will do. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, drop me a comment, and I'll catch you on the next one.